Share it out.
Hello, everybody. This is Puppetine. Below me, we have the real Dr. Venkman. Say hello, Venkman.
Hello, Venkman.
Oh, okay. Keeping the alien thing. We are here to review volumes 3 and 4 of The Walking Dead. I know you can't tell from my fingers, but I did count them out one at a time. Now, where we left off, they had left Herschel's farm and found the prison, and now they're just trying to make prison their home, trying to clear it out. And, when I started reading this book, I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. It's actually a surprise how good it is. But as they're clearing it out, they're trying to find a way to have a new home, and they are really working towards it. They get inside and they clear it out, and eventually it's just Rick and Tyrese, and they reach a cafeteria closed up, and I remember there's a line in there, and Rick says, well, if I know anything from past experience, there'll be a room full of zombies. But they open it up, and there's 4 guys sitting there. And if you look in the image, it says, hey, want some meatloaf? That's basically the first issue. And, well, the first issue of these volumes. And it really sets a tone. It introduces new characters, hardened criminals. But we grow to like some of them. And others, well, they cause drama along the way. What are some key moments in these 2 volumes for you, Venkman? Is there any that come to mind?
Like you said, the big things come to mind is we're seeing more with Tyrese and Carol, kind of like cozying up together a little bit more. The whole, as far as the situations are getting more and more complicated, because here they thought they're safe. They come into a prison. They're like, oh, this is great. We could farm here. Here, the fence will keep all the walkers out. Don't have to worry about that. And then they ran into the problem that they thought the prison was empty after they cleared all these zombies. That there's actually 4 inmates there, and the problem is that they don't know what they're in there for. One of them could be a murderer, one could be a rapist. Or just maybe grab the bottle. They don't know what these people are. Laurie and Carol, they don't trust them. Like again, they're in prison for a reason. So to make everybody comfortable, they come to agreements. Hey, you go over here to we'll sleep with us. We just cleared ourselves out for ourselves. You guys can stay in here if you want to. We're gonna sleep over here, and the one guy does not like him right away. I forgot what his name is. He's the tall black guy in here.
Dexter.
Dexter. He's basically a thug. He's got his little buddy who basically does everything, helps him with his sidekick.
Andrew.
Yeah. Then we got the creepy guy, pervy guy with glasses, baldy. No offense, but
I'm trying.
We don't really know what he's in here for. But then we got the other guy, the guy who basically he's the biker guy. He's got the long hair and the beard, and he's kind of like the nicest on all 4 of them.
Chill. He is the chill bro of this entire prison, man.
So they came with agreements. They basically we'll help you. We'll clear this. As far as we all want to survive, and they find out they have a ton of food. In this place,
See,
tons,
when
tons.
They're in the cafeteria and they open up the storeroom, it's like nirvana. Just all that food on the shelves, all canned goods, and there's powdered milk and everything that they could want. It's I'm finding it hard to imagine what will get them to leave here if they ever do. Well, we know they do, but that's besides the point.
But there's one key though. They're like, he's getting the tour of Dexter's like here. It's like, what's in there? The cooler, like, oh, that's the shitter. You don't want to go in the walk-in cooler. It's like the power's been off. They don't have a bathroom. They're trapped in the thing. They can't go to where they have to go poop somewhere. So it's in a bucket. And he's like, you probably want to leave that closed, otherwise you'll never be able to eat there's no power. So I was like, I can't think of that. I was like, when I read that, I was like, they're just outside. They're in Georgia still. They're outside Atlanta, but still they're in a prison. And I'm thinking like, it's hot. Florida gets hot. Georgia gets just as hot. And I'm thinking like they're in there's no air conditioning whatsoever, and that freezer room like it has no ventilation whatsoever. So I can only imagine they've been there. They've been there since the beginning. So I do like though that we're getting more of Andrea. Sorry, she's actually becoming more of an expert with the gun, the rifle. She's becoming one of like the most basically the best like the person they have with the gun. Now, what's great about this, because I watched the show first, that was Maggie. Maggie was great. I'm a sharpshooter. Maggie's useless so far in the book. Andrea is actually the one who actually is like you're starting to like more.
What do you mean? Maggie finds the barber shop and cuts her hair. That's an important part.
She's either having sex with Glenn or complaining because Glenn has to go leave with Rick to go do something. And same with Laurie. So at this point, Laurie is remember Laurie's pregnant at this point too. So they need a place for her to sit down. Carl is kind of like still getting used to everything around. They have to clear out a gate because we're walkers, and so they agree with they all gear up or whatever they can. They go and they clear out each room so they don't get overrun. Tyrese though, and as you said, what happens if I forgot how far that goes into the last because I don't want to. I've read the whole entire thing, so after a while it blends in. But there's a basketball court, an exercise room, so they're playing basketball and all that stuff. The prison scene, the chapters are pretty much important in the book because this is where it introduced Michonne.
Yep, Michonne comes in, and it's during actually a key moment. Dexter is accused of murdering 2 people because somebody killed Herschel, who lives on the farm. They brought the people from the farm over thinking, okay, we have all this space, and Herschel actually appreciated it. But his 2 youngest got their heads cut off by somebody. And so they accused Dexter and locked him away. And Dexter was not happy. Not at all.
All the inmates actually accused him. They had him locked up. He's like, we can't trust him. Like I said, the chill guy, the biker guy, he's understandable. He's not really upset. Dexter is like, I forget what his buddy's name is. Obviously, Carly Andrew must be his bunkmate because I think they're actually like Andrew's submissive. He's gay. Yeah, he was like it's lonely. So, and they're like Dexter's like I'm sick of this Rick guy. We had this before ourselves, and here they come telling us what to do. I ain't gonna listen. So they think they're gonna take over. Pretty much what's going on soon. They're plotting it.
To kill him. He thinks that they're planning on killing him because, well, he was accused of murder, but they actually find out that
it wasn't him.
No, it was in fact the creepy little tax evader, or so he said.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change Dexter's plan. Dexter pulls out some guns that they had, riot guns.
Well, yeah, it's actually Dexter and his buddy Andrew. They actually knew where the armory was. They lied all the time. They never told Rick that there was actually more guns and all that stuff. So they're like, we're gonna go out there, we get the guns, and then we're gonna take over. But my problem is when they tried to take over, the zombies actually got in.
Because they went in through A block to get the guns.
Yep.
And so Rick is figuring that out, and at that time it overruns. And who is it? Otis, who was the farmhand.
Yes.
He's working outside, and he's starting to get swarmed by zombies himself. But Michonne comes in, zoom, with that katana. She's cutting heads off, man.
Yeah, I like Michonne in the book so far. In the book, because like I said, they show her differently in this, and as you read this comic, Puppetine, you'll realize that the book is way better than the show. The show has its good parts. Yeah, but with everything that's going on with Rick, the shoot. Only this is going on. So they get the big swarm over, and Rick takes this opportunity to he basically shoots Dexter in the head with his gun. And he lies and says he's like, he must get. He get killed in the crossfire. There's blood spilling everywhere. He accidentally got shot. And obviously Tyrese knew about this. He could tell. I can't remember if Tyrese saw him, but he figured it out too.
He saw. And Tyrese is really chill because he's like, I understand, man. But sadly, something happens to Tyrese. You know that stupid, those stupid teenagers, his daughter and her boyfriend, who are always trying to canoodle all over the place? They're a lot like Glenn and Maggie, only in the sense that they're suicidal. So they try to kill each other. But the boy fires first, and she doesn't have time to shoot him.
Yeah, they had some Chihuahua move, and then he goes to shoot. He shoots her.
After sometimes people like a smoke, but I guess they wanted a smoking gun.
They want to go out with a bang after doing a bang.
A double bang. But Tyrese isn't happy. They hear this, and he's like, "You killed her," but at the same time, she's starting to rise because if you die, you become a walker. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how you die. If you die, you become a walker.
Yeah, the little freaking prick Chris, the one that killed Tyrese's daughter. He's like, what do you, my little girl? He's like, it wasn't supposed to be like this. He chickened out, and looking at this,
fired too early.
Yeah, she basically, she turned, she tried to attack her father, Tyrese, and you see what's going on, and that's how they leave you a clip of her in issue 14. But as you go into 15, it kind of like the continuation, and Rick's like, hey, you put her head up, I can shoot her. He's like, no, I'm going to handle this. He's like, so don't you pull that goddamn trigger. This is my girl. This is my baby girl. I'm going to take care of her and this stuff. And it's instead of Rick says like, okay, but Chris actually pulls the trigger and then shoots the zombie girl in the head. And I'm thinking like, you're gonna die, and you're gonna die a horrible death. Not only did you kill Tyrese, probably the most angriest, rowdiest guy in the group, and you killed his daughter, and then you just shot her again. After Rick said like he told Rick not to shoot the zombie because he's like, I'll take care of it. Oh man, I would hate to be that kid. Because after he says like, I'll kill you, and the kid's like, what the heck, and just the whole thing. Because Rick goes like Tyrese, don't and Tyrese just looks right back at Rick. He's like, don't fuck with me right now. It's like and Rick actually sees a sign and he backs off because like I said, Rick is confrontational, but Rick also he's trying to cling onto that moral sanity, and we're seeing this in this issue. Rick is trying to stay human, but he's realizing the more I kill, the less I feel bad about it. Holy crap. And that's what I like about this too, is if you're in a situation like this, it's kill or be killed. But and you also gotta realize when it's okay to not kill. Cause you can't because after a while you get that whole you can't trust anybody. You can't trust people alive. And I always gotta look over my back, my shoulder for walkers. It's a messed up world. I'd hate to live in a world like this. We're never safe. It's what do you do? But
and sadly, a lot of the problems in these books are human. They're still human, and thus they have little romances that go wrong. They have wants and desires of their own, and they get mad and they fight, and they're going to do that. That is how they're going to go through even during the apocalypse. Doesn't matter. And what?
I'll just say that at this point, they're mending the fences too. And this whole time they're trying to figure out what's the best way to poke, kill the zombies on the fence. Like they're looking like I can wrap a knife to the thing, or I can just do a sharpened stick to try to kill them. The only problem is if they had a problem where they were losing their they were trying to use their hand, the knife, and they lose the knife into the zombie's head and fall backwards. So they couldn't hold on to it. They're hurting themselves. So I like this what's going on, and they're exploring more of the prison after all this stuff that's going. It's just I gotta say episode. No, this actual like whole comic
These
strip.
volumes handle a lot of the learning of the walkers.
Like
They're
I said,
starting to understand the walkers. I think in the show at this point they had went to a lab and like, oh, we'll be saved, we can figure out the cure.
Oh, they went
this
to
isn't dealing with that.
No,
they understand we're not looking for a cure, we're just trying to survive.
Yeah, you gotta remember in the show they went to before they even got to Herschel, maybe met Herschel, they went to the CDC and they found the guy who was working on a cure, and what happens to the generators, he said, like, they didn't realize whenever the generators run out of fuel, it sets up a fail-safe, fire-safe. Basically, it lights all the oxygen in the room. It was just causing a giant explosion. I think, forget, 2 people chose to stay behind. I think it was Andrea was going to stay behind because her sister, but they actually talked her out of the last minutes. Only 1 person stayed behind. Yeah, that was before Shane was killed, though. But
well, I'm glad that was cut.
Yeah, because I said this it makes more sense. And what's different in this is, like I said, like we talked about the last time we're going to let you talk about this. You're getting Andrea, who's a little younger than she was in the show. They aged her up. I noticed it, and she's just an idiot on the show. They brought in Daryl. Daryl was supposed to be like what Andrea was on the show. She's like, she's a badass with the gun and all that stuff. It's just Daryl and his brother brought more drama. I mean, as much as I love Daryl on the show, he's cool, but we see this. Rick actually has a motorcycle he got from the prison, and I'm thinking, and as soon as I'm like, I thought of Daryl because Daryl's in the show known for riding the motorcycle all the time. But I'm thinking, would you really want to ride a motorcycle or anything that's loud that draws attention to walkers?
No, not really.
Motorcycles are loud.
I always thought about that too. That's a very loud vehicle to take.
Hey, how's it going, Mr. Breen? Marania's saying, I have the Playboy where the origin of Michonne is published. It's pretty tragic. Explains why she ends up being baddest. Yes, I don't believe that's mentioned in these 2 chapters, volumes. But I think it's later on it mentions her backstory, and it is tragic. Is Mr. Puppetine focuses on his lap. Oh yeah, this is also, remember, I believe it was Andrea starts making them jumpsuits, clothing for them because it's going to get hot out. So she takes the prison suits. No, yeah.
That's not going to work out very well if somebody ever comes and they're seeing a bunch of people in prison jumpsuits.
Yeah. She turned them into shorts, and then she also in shirts as well. So they could And the thing was just because they had to wash them, but they only had the clothes on their back. So I thought it was really cool because, because they found the barber scissors, they'll cut more stuff. They had sewing machines in the prison. They're really, really making it work. Like I said, it didn't go downhill until that guy killed the 2 little girls. Yeah, and then they blame it on Dexter because it was. Well, the thing is that Laurie wanted to kick him out at the very beginning. Laurie and the rest of the girls are like, no, these are hard criminals. She's like, Rick's like, we're probably not. We don't know what they're in for. It's like they're in jail. There's a reason why they're in jail, and we can't trust them.
But there was only one that was really, really bad. The other 3 were fine until, of course, Dexter was like, okay, they think I did this. They're never going to trust me, and thus I'm not going to be with this shit. And
I'll just continue. I was just remembering something about what Glenn does in these couple of issues, the first couple of issues. After they find the barber. No. Go ahead.
And I just, when thinking about it, I there are characters that I really like. I kind of wish, Andrew hadn't just ran off like that. I don't know exactly what would have been there for him, but I feel like just running off into the woods was not a good idea. If they had told him to go away and they had at least given him some cans of food, give him a fighting chance. But no, he ran away like well,
I
a
can't,
bitch.
I can't remember if anything happened to him. But you just don't see him anymore. I think he's
I don't know, but we will find
because
out.
I don't remember him popping up ever again through the whole entire book series. So he's probably we never knew his fate.
Dun
That's
dun.
I forgot about that. Dun dun.
So,
Uh,
so I'm trying to think of what else there is.
no,
Oh, I know.
it's Glenn. It's freaking Glenn shaves his head. So now throughout the whole rest of the series, he's bald and looks like an alien. He looks like
All people.
No. There's bald people that look fine. You have a normal bald head. His head is extended up the way they draw it, so he looks like he's basically turning into one of those xenomorphs from the aliens. He's got the elongated skull going, and throughout the rest of the series, like it's just like, it's like, put a hat on, Glenn. Just put a hat back on, because he got tired of shaving it.
Well, he does have a hat. He does wear like a ball cap.
Yeah, later on, but like for a while though in the prison, he just had a full on the chrome dome going, and I was just like, it never really explained really. It's just he just wanted to shave my head and go to the world. Yeah, she cut her hair too. Maggie cut her hair. Her hair was long. It's not short.
That's an atrocious cut, right? By the way,
she's got the little boy's haircut. She just just took her scissors to herself. Here, it's cut. Hey, it's like, no, you look like Marcy from Married with Children.
We're gonna go over one last complicated relationship before getting to the climax of volume 4. Tyrese has been dating Carol a while. Michonne comes in and they hit it off instantly, and they're talking. She actually knew Tyrese when he was a professional football player. So, there's a moment in the gym. They have it all cleared out after Tyrese just destroyed the zombies in there. Don't even know how. We never saw that, and that we were kind of gypped of that. I feel like an awesome battle, awesome fight scene with just Tyrese banging into the zombies would have been great. But anyway, Michonne goes up and basically it gives them not going to go into details, but they have a certain relation together. And so Carol went to go find Tyrese, and she saw through the window Michonne, and
he's banging Michonne. He's going to town.
Oh yeah. Well, the exact details of it doesn't matter. Later the next night, Carol tries the same thing, and Tyrese is like, "You don't like that? What are you doing?" And so Carol is crying, and she's saying, "Hold me," and he does. But then she says, "And I want you to pack up and move out tomorrow," because she knows that he was with Michonne. Michonne goes afterwards to rekindle things with Tyrese, and Tyrese isn't putting up much of a fight. But Rick went to go look for Carol, and Carol is in her room. Her daughter is sitting there on the floor, and she slits her own wrist. And we can see her hand. It's actually a very haunting image. You see the hand there, and it's just dripping with blood.
Yep.
Rick goes to find Tyrese. Oh, what?
Continue on.
Goes to find Tyrese and sees him and Michonne making out on the bed. And he's like, "What the hell?" And he didn't actually say hell.
Oh yeah, him and Rick really got into this. He's like, Carol just tried killing herself because you couldn't keep in your pants. He's like, you basically chucked her aside for the new girl. What do you think was going to happen? And Rick gets basically a physical altercation with Tyrese. Because Tyrese is like, you killed that guy next to in cold blood. Who made you king? It's like decisions, like maybe you should be leader. You have blood in your hands. You're a murderer, and they just start fighting, and they get broken up. Yeah, it was an intense scene in that.
Falls over the balcony.
Oh yeah,
and
nearly dies again.
Yep, he goes into a coma for about 2 days.
Yep.
And whenever he wakes up, Carol's there. Carol is going crazy. When she thinks Tyrese dies in the gym, she makes out with, well, it's not really making out, but she gives a kiss to
Rick.
Laura.
I mean Laurie. Yeah, he kissed Laurie, but she also kissed Rick as well, like that morning or the day before. And Rick was really going to tell her, but then Laurie told him, and he's like, "Well, yeah, she did it to me too." He's like, "What?" He's like, "You said it was like yeah, she is Carol's going crazy." And Carol, unlike the show or actress on the show, is probably in her late 20s.
Oh yeah, no, she's a very attractive young woman.
But yeah, so Andrew and Carol are in their late 20s. I think Rick's like 30, early 30s. Like I said, like the age difference as far as the characters in here and creating on the show is much different, than you'd think it is. Because that's Hollywood. They got to age up characters because they want certain things to happen. It's a show. They still got some stuff right though. I mean, Carl, the actor for Carl's really good.
Carol, even though she's an idiot, obviously. She needs some serious help in the mental department. She has a daughter, and in the show, her daughter died.
Well, yeah, they found her inside Herschel's shed.
Born.
Yes,
but in this, she's still alive. In fact, she and what's Rick's son's name? Carl. Yes. He hasn't said Carl enough. Coral. They're having like side moments where they're like, "You want to be my boyfriend?" And she's like, "No, you're gross." But then he's like, "I changed my mind. I want to be your boyfriend." And it's little kiddie shit, but it's fun. It's nice. It's light in the apocalypse.
Because Sophia is kind of messed up as it is going through this, and where you can see that Carl is messed up too because remember he killed Shane with everything that's going on. It's like they don't have. The group's trying to keep the kids. They have a childhood. They're making them toys and stuff. So they can play with. So they're not like they're either playing cards or they have or whatever toys they find along the way. That way they try to keep them away. Andra, I remember it was Andra and Aaron. Is that the guy's name? The one whose wife was killed. Doreen was killed in the first ones we were talking about. The first one. Yeah, he's in there. He was on. Or they're supposed to get more bullets. So he ran in there with her, and they're like, "Where you get the bullets?" And he's like, "How bad is it?" "Oh, it's really bad." And the kids kind of look up like, "What?" Considering from the kids, they're so panicked as they need more bullets to take on the swarm. Yeah. From A Block.
But there's one more. There's one more note about the fallout of this fight. Rick is no longer the leader. Somehow they came to the agreement, we should make a council. We'll keep Rick on it, but it'll also have Tyrese, myself, and that was Dale talking, and Herschel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little conflicted about this council idea because while it's great that Rick won't have to bear the entire responsibility of everything, at the same time, a lot of the times they're idiots. Rick knows what he's doing. He's done the right thing for the group every single time. But Tyrese, sadly, is the most hypocritical fool I can imagine. When Rick comes out and he goes to speak to the group, Tyrese tries to bring up, "Yeah, but you killed Dexter, Rick." He killed Dexter because Dexter was going to put him back in an RV to go out and just die. what were they going to do? Go back to the farm? The farm was already proving to be difficult.
So we're repeating what we talked about earlier again. So we're going back to that because we already talked about the fight.
Well, no, this is the fallout of the fight. Because he brings it up again in the yard when they're working on planting seeds.
Yeah.
But anyway, Rick goes on a whole thing and he says, I'm going to say my piece and y'all are all going to listen. Basically, I think echoing a moment in season 2, or the other way around, where he talks about how the world requires them to make drastic moves now to survive.
It's a new world. It's not the world we live in. We can't pretend that the world, was. We can't live the way we used to do because it will not work. It's the whole new world. You either adapt or you die. And yeah, he said the whole time we didn't know what to call them. We call them zombies up. We said they're the Walking Dead. No, they're not. We're the Walking Dead because we're not. As soon as we die, we join the ranks. It's what we do. As we're alive, doesn't matter anymore really much. If we're gonna survive, we have to work together. And if you don't want to lead, someone else can lead. At this point. But he said, I said, if you're damn right, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to protect my family. He's all, you can't.
And you know what? I can't say that's a bad move, but it's one of those things about this book. This book right here, it has so many great moments, and you're taking it all in. These 2 volumes are a lot more dialogue heavy than the first 2, I felt, but they have a lot of
the drama and the all the little subplots starting to come together. All the little incest problems rolling up or just dogpiling finally come to a head. Yeah, especially when those 2 fight, everything that's going on because Rick's been making all decisions. They didn't improve with it. What's great about these issues where we just were talking about, I especially forgot to put them up there, but they're in the title screen, 13 through 24, which is basically volume 2 and 3. No, I know volume 3 and 4, sorry, and the compendium. 4, yeah. And Rick goes back. Oh, that's cool. Rick goes back. He leaves on a motorcycle. I'm like, where's he going? He drives back to where they buried Shane, and he knows because he never put a bullet in Shane's head. He's like, come on, you fucker, get up, and he just kills Shane again, like the corpse, zombie corpse, and and then of course everything else when he on the way back, that's when all the shit goes to fan. He has to come back in. Not only that, we get Glenn's actually coming up with new inventions. He's already talking about the problem. They had a problem where they stuck the knife through the fence, the walkers, because they want to get the walkers off the fence, otherwise the fence is going to fall over. Glenn came up with an idea. I'm going to put a board, the knife through a board, so that when the zombie goes to stab him, he doesn't pull the knife through. It stops because the board stops it. And of course, then we get Maggie kind of being like, kind of nagging him a little bit too. We talk about maybe we should leave, and all this stuff. It's just like everybody's like, because I want to go back in the role. So maybe we should go back to live with my dad and all this stuff. So and then what's great about this at the end of issue 20 is going through. Her show. I forget. Was it? No, it's is it Alan, the one that Andrea's with? When she's
no, Dale.
Dale. I believe it's Dale and Tyrese are going through the prison. He discovered there's a huge generator, and it needs fuel.
They forgot about the generator because they got so obsessed with drama.
Yeah,
that's it. See, there's a whole lot of moments in these books. I knew those moments, but I forgot them for a good minute there because key points, and it depends on who you really like, I suppose, that it sets in the old fluffy noggin.
Well, and what's great about this is you're reading this like it's all black and white. So there is when they do this stuff as far as the shadow and stuff, the silhouettes of the people. It's dark in that prison. There's no lights. So as they have a flashlight they're going through, and it's freaky because you never know when something's going to come across. I believe it was Aaron or Alan. Which was the one they had the one with Andrea, the one with the bullets, the one that wears a flannel, the one he has Is
Yeah,
he has two
I believe
sons.
that's Alan.
Alan. He ends up getting bit by one of the zombies, and they go to
On the leg.
and the leg, and they go to chop his leg off, but he ends up still dying, I believe, right?
Yeah, he does.
Because they found out from Marshall they recently died because they didn't cauterize, they didn't clean it out, infection probably killed him. Yeah, so now these kids are basically like Dale and Andrew, like, we're your new mom and dad. It's like, what's going on? Hang on. It's like, oh my gosh. So these kids, there's probably like 6 or 7. They're young. They're a little younger than I believe Carl, right?
They're worse. You mean their age?
Age. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there
were 6 kids, and then 2 of them got their heads cut off.
Oh yeah. And what's creepy about those little girls? They're identical girls, but they look like the girls you'd see like in The Shining or in the bicycles or
oh yeah, they have the
ponytails and they got the dress on. It's like, this is freaky. Even when they're dead, their eyes are open like this. It's like you're looking at.
They start going because they're not dead.
No. Well, the zombie heads, yes, and
yeah.
But they like the way they're drawn. Is the scene is Glenn and Maggie. They walk in and they're in a distance, and and on the close up to you, the screen is the heads looking at you like, and they look like the Batman series of Paul Dini, where they have Harley Quinn. Her hair is always in a ponytail, pigtails, and the big smile. I was like, ugh, it's like they got Joker fight. They weren't really smiling, but the eyes and the way the hair was, it almost looked like they got Joker fight. It's like the Joker cats killed them, but they didn't smile.
It was a very dark moment in the book, and I feel really bad because now we have 2 orphans, a father who's lost 4 children, and he has like 2 left, I think. It's all stacks on, and they're very, very just worn down, and you can feel it. And even think of it now, they're going through a lot. That's a lot of emotional strain you have to deal with, on top with the zombie apocalypse going on everywhere. But it is a really good read. And if everybody's watching this right now probably has read it. And if you haven't and you've just watched the show, read the books. Honestly, this book is great. Just how seamless it is the whole way through it's really special. It's not something you see every day. Any final thoughts, Finkman?
Final thoughts. If you were thinking about picking these up and you haven't done it yet, there's multiple ways you can do this. You can find them on individual trades, maybe on Comixology, or I said you can actually pick up the physical trades. You have what you have the compendium. There's 4 of them. Each have 1,000 pages. They're like $70 a piece. Last I checked. Or is it otherwise they have the hardcover trades you can also buy. There's like 16 or 20 of those. They'll take a whole entire shelf. But the compendiums are probably the best bet if you want to have it all and take up the less space. But the problem is your legs will go numb.
Your legs will go numb. It's the size of one Puppetine, sir. This book is the size of one Puppetine. So if you want to know how big it is.
Yes, the comic is way better than the show. For those who have problems with the show, the biggest complaint I heard from the show was like they hated Laurie. They thought she was a bitch, because she cheated on him. And you get to see more of Laurie in the book than you do in the show. She was only on there till they get to prison, then they bump her off. This, like I said, the prison stuff is pretty much stretched out in these volumes. There's so many different stories going on in them. Including up to the governor, which you'll find out the governor will be coming up in the later volumes. He's even different from the show. So he says like if you like certain characters on the show, they're different in the book. Maggie on the show is a badass. In the book, it's pretty much what Andrea is. Andrea is the Maggie that you see in the show. Although Maggie still does certain things in the show that are similar about her, but like I said, I fell in love with Andrea. Andrea's like, holy crap, like, you know, she's like,
And she's got a scar now. So
yeah,
she's
she's got a scar. Yeah, she's got a scar too. Yeah, but not only she's good with guns, she's good with kids. Like I said, she's proven that she can take care of herself, but she still cares about it, and she hasn't snapped. Carol isn't the I'm a one-arm woman, basically a one-woman army. What they put her on the show, where she can, like, I can survive on my own. I don't need all you guys and stuff. This, she's more she's younger. She's more of like a side character, but the side characters in this book, they're not really side characters. When you read these stories, Marania, you're basically left at a cliffhanger at the end of each issue, and you're like, I want to go to the next. I want more. And before you know it, you're already 20 issues you've gone through, reading through them. And what's great about them, there's not a lot of dialogue in some of these pages because, well, when they're attacking the zombies, all you see is this splash or splurge or blam, you know, heck. And you get widespread pages of just killing the zombies. Now, some say that's kind of cheating, you know, but like, I'd rather have that than have a whole paragraph on one page and with no action. You know, just understanding of looking at the ocean and just going there for 4 pages.
We have Snatchfaceful. Hello, Snatchface. And he's saying he likes the books a lot more than the show. And Almighty Jack is recommending that you read it in color.
That's true. They're in color now.
They're coming out in color. I would, if I didn't already own 4 big books. I don't think I can buy more Walking Dead. Legally, I don't think it's allowed. I think I'd die. I already have Puppet 19. I can't get any worse. My final thoughts are simply that this show, sorry, not the show, the books have a lot of interesting characters, a lot of interesting settings, and I am looking forward to seeing where it goes from here. Is it perfect? No. Sometimes some character motivations can seem a little off, but most of them are solid. Most of these characters, most of the dialogue is also solid. I look forward to continuing this, and I will see you next week with The Real Dr. Venkman to continue on with volumes 5 and 6. Go ahead.
You're just going to cut me out, just your final thoughts, and just do whatever you want?
Go ahead.
Puppets. No, I was going to say for my final thoughts on this book, you know, here, Stanchface is saying it's better in color. I'm torn about that because there are certain things I like it in black and white. I recommend you read it in black and white first, then go back and read it in color and just compare it. You can even do side-to-side comparisons. There are certain scenes like when this came out, I poo-pooed it. I was like this bad art and it's black and white. I'm like, what is this? Like, no. But then I sat down and read it this past October. I was read all the way through 193 issues in black and white. And like I said, the black and white really helps out because it's like, it's a horror. This would be a horror movie, kind of like this, you know, situation. And it's a black and white. Like I said, characters blend in. But I don't want to say like, because the problem with black and white, if you don't draw people looking differently, they all say we forget who's who. This guy, Charlie Aldred, I think is who's doing it. He is pretty good with the faces, and no characters look the same. So and they do so well with the personalities. It's like I said, it's like without the show, it's like just read the book. It's like you're watching a movie. You know, you actually get so attached to these characters. Even side characters you really shouldn't be attached to. Sometimes have to be some of the best characters in the book. But yeah, I definitely read it in color. And if you get a chance, like I said right now, they just released issue 8 in color. I'm sure you can still go buy the first printing or second printing, whatever. And what's great about it is that you actually get like other artists, like, you know, in the back, and they have the director's cut, and he talks about making the book, writing the book in the back. So it's cool at the end of the book. So you get that stuff.
I think I'm going to stick with black and white because I can read it with my dog without him getting offended. I do agree, though. I've seen some of the color, like even in our image right down there.
Well, I want to say the black and white, the covers are in color.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a tease for the people when it first came out, like in the back 2005 or 2010 or 13, that was going through. you get the colored covers. The first page will be in color, and then all of a sudden the rest will be black and white. So now you're actually getting the rest. I mean, so you've got a little tease throughout the years, you know, while it's coming out. You know what the characters look like in color. But yeah, the color when someone gets shot, or just look at the zombies, the decaying is much more grotesque. Where black and white, you're using your imagination. You know what's on there, because like you see obviously like the guy's face is drooping, or he's got a big bite mark, and all. But
and I feel like it takes a lot of talent. It takes a lot of talent to draw this entire thing in black and white. But absolutely, color is always pleasant, and so, well, other than when it's on decaying zombies, I guess, but it's still cool to see. I think that about just wraps it up, don't you, Vakeman?
Well, definitely wrap it up in that disease world, because you never know what you're gonna catch and turn into a zombie.
Well, for my friend below, for Rick Grimes down there saying holy shit, and for me, thank you so much for joining, and we will see you next time. Bye!